搜寻引擎的运作原理。
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts. I'm an engineer in the quality group at Google, and I'd like to talk today about what happens when you do a web search. The first thing to understand is that when you do a Google search, you aren't actually searching the web. You're searching Google's index of the web, or at least as much of it as we can find. We do this with software programs called spiders. Spiders start by fetching a few web pages. Then they follow the links on those pages and fetch the pages they point to, and follow all the links on those pages and fetch the pages they link to, and so on, until we've indexed a pretty big chunk of the web. Many billions of pages stored across thousands of machines. Now, suppose I want to know how fast a cheetah can run. I type in my search, say cheetah running speed, and hit return. Our software searches our index to find every page that includes those search terms. In this case, there are hundreds of thousands of possible results. How does Google decide which few documents I really want? By asking questions, more than 200 of them, like, how many times does this page contain your keywords? Do the words appear in the title? In the URL? Directly adjacent? Does the page include synonyms for those words? Is this page from a quality website, or is it low quality, even spammy? What is this page's page rank? That's a formula invented by our founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin that rates a web page's importance by looking at how many outside links point to it and how important those links are. Finally, we combine all those factors together to produce each page's overall score and send you back your search results, about half a second after you submit your search. At Google, we take our commitment to delivering useful and impartial search results very seriously. We don't ever accept payment to add a site to our index, update it more often, or improve its ranking. Let's take a look at my search results. Each entry includes a title, a URL, and a snippet of text to help me decide whether this page is what I'm looking for. I also see links to similar pages, Google's most recent stored version of that page, and related searches that I might want to try next. And sometimes, along the right and at the top, I'll see ads. We take our advertising business very seriously as well, both our commitment to deliver the best possible audience for advertisers and to strive to only show ads that you really want to see. We're very careful to distinguish your ads from regular search results. And we won't show you any ads at all if we can't find any that we think will help you find the information you're looking for. Which in this case, the cheetah's top running speed is more than 60 miles an hour. Thanks for watching. I hope this...
好，这个大家看到说它搜寻过程中，那非常快速度把所有的页面的内容和标题全部抓到之后再回传出来。那回传过程中呢，各位把它想象今天就很像去图书馆找一本书，那图书馆一定有一个检索器，那我们通过图书馆的这检索器来去找比较少找的一些资讯的书本，那 Google 就很像一个不断成长一个大型的图书馆，那我们通过这样的检索方式找到我们想要找的资料跟网页。那目前 Google 搜寻的索引超过1亿的 GB 数千亿的这个页面在里面那我们每次在搜寻过程中，大家通过字词来去找到对应的这些内容那它步骤来讲，第一个就是分析字词，再是比对查询，再是针对实用的这个网页来排名来排名之后来回传适合的结果，来考量背景资讯。字词部分来讲话，由于到现在这个阶段呢，这个时代语言模型更进阶了，早期它在针对字词的判断用了许多的 A/B 测试比如说以中文来说，比如更换、兑换、调整那用户最后使用的是哪一个那以及它意图是什么搜寻的意图、输入的意图是什么那调整的需求然后进一步才优化到现在大家看到这样的一个样貌可以来看一下这个。
The Google search algorithm is made up of several hundred signals that we try to put together to serve the best results for each user.
Just last year, we launched over 500 changes to our algorithm. So by some count, we change our algorithm almost every day, almost twice over.
We really analyze each potential change very deeply to try to make sure that it's the right thing for users.
The first step in improving Google search is coming up with an idea.
There are almost always a set of motivating searches, and these searches are not performing as well as we would like. Ranking engineers then come up with a hypothesis about what signal, what data could we integrate into our algorithm.
We test all these reasonable ideas through rigorous scientific testing.
The first is with raters. These are external people that have been trained to judge whether one ranking is more relevant and higher quality than another.
We show these raters side by side for queries that the engineer's experiment might be affecting. We also confirm these changes with live experiments on real users.
And we do this in something that's called a sandbox. We send a very small fraction of actual Google traffic to the sandbox. We compute lots of different metrics.
In 2010, we ran over 20,000 different experiments. All the data from the human evaluation and the live experiment are then rolled up by a search analyst.
For each project, it's usually one analyst assigned from the moment that we're talking to the engineers, trying to learn about their change. And the impact is quite small, as you see.
We then have a launch decision meeting where the leadership of the search team then looks at that data and makes a decision.
That surely we should fix.
Ultimately, the goal of the search eval analyst team is to provide an informed, data-driven decision and present an unbiased view.
Okay, so not approved, the team will understand what's happening. If our scientific testing says this is a good idea for Google users, we will launch it on Google.
For many years now, Google has been offering spelling suggestions for queries that contain typos or misspellings. So sometimes you'll type a query and you might see, did you mean, and then an alternate query. If you type a misspelling of your medicine and you don't click on the did you mean, you might be getting results that contain that misspelling, and they tend not to be high quality results. So we thought about a different kind of interface that we call full page replacement. And instead of did you mean, you'll see at the top of your page showing results for. And in the case that we made a mistake, there's another link, search instead for, and it has the query that you typed. We call that link the escape hatch. For every time a user had to click that escape hatch because the spelling algorithm made a mistake, we wanted to make sure that there were 50 other times that they got the right spelling suggestion and they didn't have to click the did you mean. And they were also looking to see in the live traffic data how often were users clicking on that escape hatch to make sure that the user signal that we get from live experiments was lining up with the signal that we get from our rater evaluations. We brought it to launch committee, and based on the rater evaluations and the live experiments, it was pretty clear that the engineers had done what they were supposed to do, and so we launched it.
When you align Google's interests with users' interests as we have aligned, good things happen.
We've put a huge investment into understanding what works for users.
Is this change going to help users not only in the United States or in English, but all over the world?
I think we get excited when we feel like we've hit on an idea that really helps a lot of users.
Users keep coming back to Google even though they have a choice of a search engine every time they open a browser.
OK， 好，那接下来我们看一下，这时比对完之后，基本上就是去抓它查询里面这些索引里面的网页上面是否在标题啦、内容啦相关的信号带出来，代表说是用户想要找这些内容啊。接着呢，这样去做排名，因为有些网站可能过卷，或者是可能有些网站鱼目混珠的方式来提升它的搜寻排名那会让用户体验不好。那甚至有些网站可能会带有病毒那为了保护这些使用者所以他们有它所谓的品质网站管理者品质的这个控管部门。
Hello, I'm Michael and I work on Google's search quality team. In this video, I'm going to discuss some key points of our webmaster guidelines, including syndicated content, thin affiliates, and doorway sites. Syndicated content is content that is copied from another website. Some sites copy content that stays on topic, but they don't add any of their own value. Other sites copy completely random and irrelevant content to increase their search traffic. Scraped content alone, even high-quality content, does not provide any added value to your users. Similarly, if your site participates in affiliate programs, make sure your site adds value and gives the user a reason to visit your site. An example of a high-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog with original reviews and commentary. An example of a low-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog that provides only copied product descriptions accompanied by affiliate links. The final category is doorway sites. Doorway sites are created purely to drive users to another website and often try to crowd the search results for a particular term or phrase. This provides the user with a poor experience, as more than one search result will ultimately lead them to the same site. A violation of our webmaster guidelines can negatively impact your performance in our search results, and in some cases can even result in removal from our search results. Our primary goal is to serve users with high-quality, relevant information. These guidelines are in place to ensure a good user experience, so it's worth your time to give them a thorough reading. To learn more, please visit our Help Center resources.
就是如果说你今天网页都是内容是 copy 别人的，所谓内容农场，那个排名其实会不好。OK， 所以之前有一阵子蛮长时间，蛮常看到一些那种内容农场的网站，那时候它起了一阵子，然后后来 Google 搜寻引擎要把它消灭掉，所以后来这些网站其实都效果不好。OK， 好，那再来我们来看一下，那刚刚讲到说，如果说那个网站重大违规，那今天不是全部交给演算法去跑，但事实上还是会有专门人介入处理这件事情。好，专门介入处理呢，我们来看一下。
Thanks for watching.
All right, today's question comes from the Bay Area in California, and the question is, just to confirm, does Google take manual action on web spam? Does manual action result in a removal, or can it also be a demotion? Are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So I'm really glad to have a chance to clarify this because some people might not know this, although we've written this quite a bit in various places online. Google is willing to take manual action to remove spam. So if you write an algorithm to detect spam, and then someone searches for their own name, and they find off-topic porn, they're really unhappy about that, and they'll write into Google and let us know that they're unhappy. And if we write back and say, well, we hope in 6 to 9 months to be able to have an algorithm that catches this off-topic porn, that's not a really satisfactory answer for the guy who has off-topic porn showing up for his name. So in some situations, we are willing to take manual action on our results. It's when there are violations of our web spam quality guidelines. So if you search for quality guidelines, you'll find a web page that has all the stuff documented, and all of the individual stuff hopefully makes sense. It's essentially to avoid deceptive, manipulative, malicious behavior, the sorts of things that are fooling search engines, the sorts of things that are causing pages to be ranked higher than they should be ranked. And on individual items like cloaking or doorway pages or keyword stuffing, you can often click and get a lot more information, examples, find out why we don't like things like paid links or whatever. So the answer to your question is yes, we are willing to take manual action when we see violations of our quality guidelines. Another follow-up question was whether it has to be a removal or whether it can be a demotion. It can be a demotion. It tends to be removal because the spam we see tends to be very clear-cut, but there are some cases where you might see cookie-cutter content that's maybe not truly awful but is duplicative, or you can find in tons of other places, and so it's content that is really not a lot of value add, those sorts of things. And we say in our guidelines to avoid duplicate content, whether it's on the same pages, like things like doorway domains might have duplicate content, whether it's across domains, so having lots of different domains with very similar or even identical content. So when we see truly malicious, really bad stuff, we're often taking action to remove it. If we see things that are still a violation of our quality guidelines, but not quite as bad, then you might see a demotion. And then the last question was, are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So we do reserve the right to remove content for spam. Content can be removed for legal reasons, like we might get a DMCA complaint or some valid court order that says we have to remove something within this particular country. We're also willing to remove stuff for security reasons, so malware, Trojans, Trojan horses, viruses, worms, those sorts of things. Another example of security might be if you have like your own credit card number on the web, you know. So those are some of the areas that we are willing to take action, and we are willing to remove stuff from our search results. We don't claim that that's a comprehensive list. We think that it's important to be able to exercise judgment, you know, so if there's some safety issue or, you know, of course, things like child porn, which would fall under legal. But those are the major areas that we've seen would be spam, legal reasons, and security. And certainly the vast majority of action that we take falls under those 3 broad areas. But just to be clear, we do reserve the right to take action, whether it could be demotion or removal, and we think we have to apply our best judgment. You know, we want to return the best results that we can for users, and the action that we take is in service of that, trying to make sure that we get the best search results we can out to people when they're doing searches.
好，这是针对如果说比较严重的它专介入处理那这个就是回传到使用者 user 的手机的过程中，当然会考量到网页那个网络的一个状况然后以及装置手机、平板，甚至考量用户的咨询背景资讯，比如说官方这边举例说在美国搜寻足球跟欧洲搜寻足球是讲不同东西。OK 今天就很像我今天在板桥这边搜寻牛肉面，跟在台南高雄搜寻牛肉面跑出来的店家有所不同。依照因地制宜给你出现内容会跟你用户相关的这些背景资讯。好，那刚刚我们提到例子说，也看到那支影片说，搜寻引擎它在爬虫，其实原理就是爬虫嘛。我现在像很多Python课程很红嘛，其实就在爬。好，那在爬的过程中，当然是要爬到你的网站，你才被收录嘛。那没有爬到怎么办？那这时候我们讲，就通过一个工具叫 Google Search Console 来提交我们的网站，让 Google 来主动收录。好，那大家搜寻 Google Search Console， 点进来之后呢，记得跟你的 Gmail 账号同一组 Gmail。那这边有2种验证方式，因为你必须要验证你是网站管理者才进入到这个后台。好，那左边的验证呢是要透过 DNS 验证，就是假设这个网站是你网址寄买的，你比如中华电信或是 GoDaddy 或是 PC Home， 你要到那个主机商那边去做 DNS 验证。好，那因为我们用练习是 Weebly 那我们就 Weebly 的方式知网域用前置网址的方式来去验证。那验证的时候如果有买 GA 自动验证通过不过因为我们把它改成 GTN 的，所以待会呢如果说后台直接读到 GA 的代码会直接验证通过，像这样子。那如果说因为我们之前已经用 GTN 把它取代掉了，所以呢就会取用第2种方式叫做 HTML 标记。点进来的时候呢，待会在这个地方验证不过会进入到心理验证。那验证有几种方法，其中有叫 HTML 标记，然后我们直接把这一段代码把它复制贴在你的网站后台的中立资料，然后再回来这里做验证。OK 好，验证完之后验证通过就进入到这个后台。来我们来看一下Weebly 一样把它打开来好，然后呢大家搜寻这个Search Console， 然后各位看到这里叫 Google Search Console， 然后点进来案例开始，切换一下账号。好，这边去新增资源。好，然后各位选右边这个，然后把网址把它复制，把它贴过来这里。好，贴上去去做验证。好，那因为我们现在目前把 GA 拿掉，现在是 GTN。那我们看看它几个验证方式。第一个是它请你下载这个档案，然后上传到你的主机伺服器跟目录摆一起。好，那第2个是 HTML 标记，但我们用这个方式。那再用 GA 或者 GTN， 那所以那 GTN 有可是我们容器片段是没有的因为我们 GTN 它本身有2段代码，我们再大家看一下GTN 本身有2段代码，上面是这个 head 的部分，然后有叫容器代码，那因为我们没有买这栋，就买上面，所以这个地方就没过好，那另外就是刚刚讲 DNS 验证DNS 验证，好，那我们最简单，我们直接用这个 HTML 标记这个。好，在网页的首页中加入中立资料、中继标记。好，那我们只要复制这段代码，回到我们的网站，设定 SEO。好，然后我们贴在标图代码这里。好，这是 GTN 嘛，我们把它摆前面好了。好，加个注解。 这一段的标记是让 Google Search Console 验证的，然后就储存发布。好，发布完之后呢，有发布了，那我们再回来这里，回到这个 HTML 标记这里，那这边就有个验证，点这个验证，那它就会再去爬取是你的网页，验证完就已经验证拥有权，所以就可以前往资源，就可以进入到 Search Console 的后台。来，请大家验证 Search Console，然后并且进入到这个后台，画面还给各位。